What's up? What's going on, guys? This is Mr. Gold, and today I am going to be presenting with you guys grading every NFL team's 2015 draft class 5 years later. So basically what we're going to be doing here is I'm going to be going through all 32 teams. I'll probably do maybe 8 at a time, somewhere around there. Might be a 4-part series, or I might do 4 at a time. It all depends on how long this video is taking. But yeah, I'm going to be grading the 2015 draft classes by just team by team. I'll probably start off with the NFC South and the AFC South today, and we'll see what goes on from there. Let's get into the video. And we're back. Hope you guys liked that intro, but let's just get into it. So, obviously I'm using the very reliable Pro Football Reference for my stuff, so you know it's legit. And I could just go to these guys, and we'll go ahead and start off with the NFC South. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and let's see who they got. So, this is their 7 players that they took. I guess I'm not going to really be doing like undrafted. It's pretty much just going to focus on their main 7 or however many they took. So obviously number 1 overall selection in the entire 2015 draft is quarterback Jameis Winston. This man, he actually didn't do half bad. Led the NFL in receiving yards, but definitely not worthy of the number 1. Got tackle Donovan Smith, and I'm a pretty diehard football fan, and I haven't really heard much of Smith, so I'm going to say that's probably not the best. I have heard of Ali Marpet, and I think he did decently there. And then obviously K'Waun Alexander is a legend. He's done very good so far in his NFL career. Then we got wide receiver Kenny Bell and wide receiver Kalen Clay. Neither of them really panned out. And then we got fullback Joey Isofisa. So obviously if I were to give a grade for like the best player that they took, I would definitely give it to K'Waun Alexander. But second best probably Winston, and then Ali Marpet. Then the other ones really just, they didn't quite do it for me. So I'm gonna go ahead, give this one a C. I don't think it's super great, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world either. So yeah, I'll give the Buccaneers draft a C. And then we'll go to another team in the NFC South. That would be, oh, there it is. It's Atlanta. And Atlanta's picks, they had, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks. And with their number 1, they took Vic Beasley. And that's probably a pretty good pick. Beasley did end up turning out, he's been pretty much a beast on defense, but definitely not a half bad pick there. Then they took cornerback Jalen Collins in the 2nd round. And not the worst. That could definitely be improved on, but like, I haven't heard much of him as a diehard NFL fan, so I'm going to say probably not the best. Tevin Coleman, running back, he was consistent backup for Devontae Freeman, and now he's on the Niners. I think he's coming back this year, so it's definitely not bad. Pretty solid running back to get in the 3rd round. Justin Hardy, not the best wide receiver, but definitely a solid backup and has been for a bit. Then nose tackle Grady Jarrett, obviously very good pick for the 1st round. For the 5th round, definitely really good there. There is 7th round pick Jake Rogers, who is a tackle. I haven't really heard much out of him, so I'm not going to say that's great. And then Akeem King, who I have heard a bit about, and I think that's decent for a 7th rounder to at least get some value that the common NFL fan would have heard of this person. So definitely not a bad draft, not the best either. Definitely not superstar studded, but guys like Beasley, Coleman, and Jarrett will definitely make this a good draft. I'm going to give it a solid B just because of the Beasley and Jarrett picks. Coleman has been a solid running back pretty much his whole career, albeit not a starting one, but definitely not half bad. And Hardy was a decent backup wide receiver, and of course you got Akeem King. If I was going to do who's the best, I would probably do Beasley, Jarrett, and then Coleman and Hardy, and then everybody else kind of falls into those other categories. So yeah, that's going to be the Atlanta Falcons. I'll give them a B. And then, let's see here, go down. We need another team in the NFC South. That would be... Wait, yes, that's them. New Orleans Saints. And they took 9 different players, so not half bad. And I'm an avid football card collector, and for some reason I have so many Marcus Murphy rookie cards, and I don't know why, but I have so many. But anyways, so their number one selection at pick 13, Andreas Peat. They just signed this man to a mega deal, like actually a mega deal, like 5 years for the offensive lineman. So definitely not a half bad pick there if he's worth the mega deal that they got. Haven't really heard a lot out of Stephon Anthony. I think he did decent, but definitely not a super recognizable name that did really good. Howlai Kaika, I think that's how you say it. That's definitely not the best. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say about that. Garrett Grayson pretty much was destined to be a bench warmer his entire career, and that's what he's been, but he never really even panned out to be a good backup, so not great there. This is definitely one of the better picks of their draft, though. In the 3rd round, they managed to snag corner PJ Williams, who I believe is still with the team, so that's definitely not a half bad pick right there. Then outside linebacker Davis Tull, defensive tackle Tyler Davidson, who I think did okay. Then there was cornerback Damian Swan and running back Marcus Murphy. So not the worst draft. I'd really just say that the Pete and the Williams are going to be your 2 good ones. Yeah, I'm going to give this one a C-. I actually think it was worse than the Buccaneers. I really think that they only had 2 hits that actually turned out to be half-decent players. I really think the rest of these guys kind of faded into just irrelevancy. Not really greatest. Obviously, I'll put Pete at number 1, Williams at number 2, and I'd probably have to say I'll put Anthony at number 3. But yeah, that's going to be the New Orleans Saints. I'll give them a C-, so slightly less than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then our final one for the NFC South is going to be the Carolina Panthers once I find them. Now, where are you? There they are. Yes. Yeah, that's right. I think this was the year that they went to the Super Bowl. So, and they only had 5 selections, so not a lot. But definitely, I can already tell you that they did not do half bad. Number 1 pick at pick 25, Shaq Thompson, definitely a good pick. I have this man, very good pick right there. I definitely like that one a lot. I think he's been a solid linebacker pretty much his entire career, and he's probably worth the number 25 pick as a linebacker. And then obviously, I don't know why it has him listed as tight end. I'm not sure. I was younger when this draft happened, so I wasn't really super hyper invested in it, but I'm gonna guess that maybe he switched in the NFL, but I know he's a wide receiver now. It just got signed by, I believe, the Packers. So yeah, but he turned out pretty good. He was solid, reliable wide receiver for Cam Newton, although I do believe he's battled with some injuries. Then there's guard Darrell Williams, not half bad. Linebacker David Mayo, who I think was probably a pretty good pick in the 5th. And then running back Cameron Artis-Payne. I know all these dudes, so I definitely think this was not a half bad draft. I think that they got a lot of solid value. Obviously, no superstars. They didn't snag a Watson or a Mahomes or a Zeke Elliott, anything like that, although those were all different years from 2015, but definitely not half bad for who was available, and just they took the right guys pretty much for their team. And I think if I had to do ranking them, I'd say Thompson 1, Funchess 2, and I'd probably skip down to Mayo or Payne as number 3. But definitely, for only having 5 picks, this is definitely high value. I'm going to give it a B+. I like it. I think that they got some solid value out of it. Be it no superstars, but definitely not bad. So, real quick, gonna go see how long the video's been so far. And it looks like I do have time. I'll go ahead and do the AFC South. So, let's get right into it, I guess. So, that one was a B-, right? Yeah. No. B+? B+, I think it was. Now, obviously, we can get to the AFC South right away because they had the number 2 pick. And that is the Tennessee Titans. And they had Mariota in the first round. Green Beckham, who ended up pretty much being a bust, but he was in the second round. Jeremiah Poutasi, a guard, in the third round. Angelo Blackson, a defensive tackle, in the fourth round. Jalston Fowler, who actually turned out to be a pretty solid fullback, in the fourth round. David Cobb, a running back, in the fifth round. Deonterez Mount, an outside linebacker, in the sixth. Andy Gallick, a center, in the sixth. And Trey McBride, a wide receiver, in the seventh. So, I see some names that some of you might be familiar with, but you're not going to be familiar with them as stars. They're you got guys like Beckham, career fourth string wide receiver. Cobb, career third string running back. McBride, career fifth string wide receiver. I think Poutasi had some sort of starting. I think he did something like that, but he wasn't half bad. But none of these guys turned out to be superstars either. Obviously, Mariota's not even with the team, and if we're looking at these dudes, most of them are not with the team anymore. I don't think Beckham is. I don't think Cobb is. I know Fowler's not. I'm pretty sure McBride's not. I think I saw him on the Bears or something a couple years back. So, most of these dudes are, in fact, I believe almost all of them are gone in 5 years, and that just shows you that it wasn't really a deep draft for them. They didn't really get those players that they needed, and they obviously thought that Mariota and Green Beckham were going to be their future, and they just really didn't turn out. So definitely not the best draft for them. So I'm going to give that one, I'll give it a C-, I think. Not really liking it. No superstars, so C-. Pretty easy decision there. Then we've got Jacksonville, and they had the 3rd overall pick, and they went ahead and took Dante Fowler Jr. with that pick. He is an outside linebacker. In the second round, they took running back T.J. Yeldon. Not bad. In the 3rd, they took guard A.J. Kane. In the 4th, they took safety James Sample. In the 5th, they took wide receiver Rashad Green. In the 6th, they took defensive tackle Michael Bennett. I don't believe that is the Seahawks Michael Bennett. No, I know that's not the Seahawks Michael Bennett. In the 7th, they took wide receiver Neil Sterling and tight end Ben Koyak. So maybe the 2015 draft wasn't very deep. I haven't seen any superstars really popping out, like guys that you know they're starters. Obviously, best dude here, Fowler Jr. just signed a deal with the Atlanta Falcons, who we looked at earlier today. Fowler Jr. is really good. Yeldon, I believe, is still on the Bills at this point. I know he kind of bounced around teams. I think he's still on the Bills, I'm pretty sure. AJ Kane, I'm almost positive, had a solid thing. I don't think he did bad. I think. Then you got these dudes, pretty much everyone here in the 4th to 7th rounds, irrelevant. They didn't do good. This is this top 3 in that order. C, I guess. I'm not really liking any of the drafts I've seen so far. If you were to go through, yeah, C, just for those 3 players right there. Then we'll move on to one of our final teams. That would be either the Houston Texans or the Indianapolis Colts. Let's see here. I guess we'll do the Houston Texans, and they, with pick 16, took corner Kevin Johnson. Pretty sure he did okay, but I don't think that was a great pick there. Definitely, if I haven't heard of him as a stud or a corner, like a Byron Jones type thing, I don't think he was real good. Bernardrick McKinney was not half bad though. He's an inside linebacker that they took in the second round. Wide receiver Jalen Strong never really panned out to be a great receiver. Wide receiver Keith Mumphrey never really panned out to be anything. Outside linebacker Richard Clayette, I believe, not really anything. Christian Covington, I believe, did turn out to be something. I don't think he was half bad. And then obviously running back Kenny Hillard. So let's break this down here. So with their first round pick, they took Kevin Johnson, the corner, and almost positive that this dude didn't do horrible, but I know for a fact he didn't do great. McKinney, I'd probably have to give the best award here. So probably McKinney, Johnson, and Covington with Strong just on the edge, but I'm going to give it a C as well. I'm really not seeing it yet. Maybe the Colts will surprise me and be better, but I just am not seeing it quite yet. Let's find them real quick. Colts. There you are. And with their first round pick, they took wide receiver Philip Dorsett, who's now a Seahawk, and I'm happy about that. He's a speed wide receiver that never really panned out to be a number 1, but is a consistent number 3 for the Colts, the Patriots, and now the Seahawks. So definitely not bad there. That's literally almost it. The only other notable name that I see on this list is Clayton Geathers, a safety. That's it. That is really it. That is D+. No, I don't even have to mention these names. You're not going to recognize any of them. No, this is sad. D+. No. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm looking through the players, and there's definitely some stars that got drafted here that we'll get to in another video, but the guys that we looked at today did not get any of them. Like, I guess the Saints kind of got one with Andreas Pete, and the Falcons kind of got one with Beasley, but Jaguars, I guess, kind of got one with Fowler. Those are pretty much the stars that we talked about today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you like this type of content, if you want me to go over different years after I'm done with this one, and we'll see.